Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And today, as promised, before our evening video, we are going to dive into Chris Murphy and his comments around the universal background check system on the floor of the Senate yesterday. Now, this is key because not only does he approach it from complete hyperbole, he also disproves gun control overall on the floor of the Senate without even recognizing he's doing it. Everything is going to be linked in the description box below. And of course, please let me know what you guys think in the comments field and make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn that notification bell on. All right, my brothers and sisters, we have got to dive into this. These midday videos, I try to make a little shorter, so let's dive right into it because this is something that Chris Murphy said, pushing universal background checks. You know, those things that require registries. Check this out.
I wish there was a truly complicated set of factors that play into the reason why we have so much more gun violence here than in other nations, but it probably isn't that complicated. We don't have more mental illness in this country. We don't spend less money on law enforcement. We don't have angrier people. We just have a lot more guns, and we are much more permissive in this country about allowing felons, dangerous people, the mentally ill to get their hands on guns, and we are much more permissive around the question of which kind of guns get in the hands of private citizens, especially guns that are designed to kill as many human beings as quickly as possible.
Yeah, there's just so much. Okay, first of all, felons? We allow felons to get guns? Really? Do we? Because I'm pretty sure that falls under the category of prohibited persons, which would be illegal. That's step one on gun control failures. This is one of the things that bothers me so much. And let me know if you hear me on this and I land this plane in the comments. But this bothers me to the nth degree. When you're talking from a standpoint of a gun control perspective, and we need all this gun control because all the gun control that we have just simply doesn't work because we need more gun control to solve the problem that gun control didn't work. It's cyclical. They point to a problem. The gun control laws already address that problem. They don't work. So then they say we need more gun control because that gun control wasn't the right amount of gun control. It's the same thing as socialism. Oh, they just didn't do it right that time. No, they did it wrong every time because it's socialism. It goes against human nature. The entire point here is he's disproving gun control and then pushing for more gun control. Not to mention the fact that we don't spend less money on our police. Yeah, we do. That's called the defund the police movement. Democrats have their fingerprints all over that, even though they don't want to do that. That's one. We don't have more mental institutionalized people here in the United States. Yeah, we do. And also over in Europe and all the other first world nations that they're talking about, the richer nations, and they're comparing with the gun violence. A lot of finger quotes in this one. They have mental health as a mainstay in their healthcare programs. I'm not advocating for universal healthcare. I'm just saying there is a difference on the mental health aspect. The other part that really bothers me is when he goes down this road of, it's because guns exist. Why do Democrats, and this is the high level, this is not everyday Democrats, why do Democrats insist on bringing us down to the levels of freedom that other countries are at because they have lower freedom scores than we do in order to achieve equality and parity with countries that have less freedom than we do? It does not make sense on any level because we have guns in this country which ensure our freedoms. Yeah, so we need to die down on our freedoms and the guns are a problem. It doesn't make sense. If you look at it from a different perspective, other than the manipulation and the honest to goodness control they're trying to push, you get an interesting perspective. But anyway, that's just the first one. Let's go to the second one. I said these would be short.
And so I agree with Senator Warnock. This just feels like a test of democracy. It really does. Like, how does democracy survive if 90% of Americans, 90% of Republicans, 90% of Democrats want something and we can't deliver it? You want to know why people are flirting with autocracy and dictatorship? It's because even when they agree at a 90% rate, they can't get what they want from their government. I got to tell you, something does seem pretty wrong if democracy can't deliver on a 90% consensus. And not a 90% consensus about whether your road gets paved. A 90% consensus on whether kids live or die.
That was a real big jump there at the end. So what he's talking about is a 90% consensus on universal background checks when they're not telling people that they're universal background checks and what they would apply to. He's saying, and quoting a study and all these different polling that say, do you believe in background checks? What they're answering is, yeah, the system that exists, 90% say yes. Okay. Would you agree that every single sale across the board, even your private property, has to be moderated by the government? No. Oh, wow, weird. When you phrase the question like that, people respond differently. Also, let's try this on a different foot. 90% of people think that partial birth abortions are probably a bad idea. Oh, but it's a woman's right to choose. How dare you question that? Do you see the games that they play? Again, I don't try to dip too hard into other things that are politically related. I try to stay on the 2A. But when you look at the things that they bring forward as the arguments against our gun rights, and then the things that they defend in their other sacred cows, it kind of throws on its face the fact that it's pick and choose what you want to enforce and support. The other part about guaranteeing that it saves children is a complete bit of hyperbole, and it has no basis in reality, because universal background checks aren't even Ethan's law, and that's not even what he's talking about. It's just meant to drum up fear. But anyway, got one more for you, because who hasn't had enough Chris Murphy before dinner? Here's the third one.
And the reason is the criminals are going online and going to the gun store and going to the gun shows because they know they will fail the background check if they go to a bricks and mortar store. That's what Seth Ator did. He failed the background check when he tried to purchase a gun in 2014, but he went to a private seller online, he bought a gun, and then he used it to kill 7 people and wound 25 others in a mass shooting in Odessa. This is not theoretical. This happens. How do you think all these guns get into our cities? It's because the criminal traffickers who have serious criminal records, who can't buy guns at a bricks and mortar store, go to a state that doesn't have universal checks. The criminals, the traffickers, buy the guns online or at a gun show, and then they drive them up to Hartford, Connecticut, and they sell them on the black market.
Into areas where it's illegal to own them or carry them or transport them. Forgot that little part. This is the part of his little speech where he disproves gun control yet again without realizing he's disproving gun control. Again, gun control is the answer, but it's not working, so we need more of it. It doesn't make any sense. We have criminals who are breaking the law. Okay, well, the criminals are breaking the law. And then they're going into states and bringing guns into areas that they're not allowed to have them because they can't have them because law said they just magically disappear like a force field. And that's the problem. You're disproving your entire point without even saying you're disproving your point, thinking you're supporting your point. The entire point here is they try to make these big specters of online sales and all of these ads and all of these gun shows and all these loopholes. Those loopholes don't exist. They're talking about private sales, if anything, right here. And you want to make it about something of, well, the gun control laws will work if they're just applied nationally. They're just not applied certain levels. They work in our cities, but they don't work in our city. It's cyclical. The entire thing is cyclical. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.